On behalf of Superintendent Dr. Paul Kaiser, High School Principal Steve Cox, Athletic Director Matt English, and the Indiana High School Athletic Association, BGTV welcomes you to Beech Grove High School tonight in the Hive. It's a girls' varsity volleyball contest. Lindsay Hall and the Hornets of Beech Grove High School welcome the Hawks of Decatur Central. I'm Mark James, sitting in for the voice of the Hornets, Jim Pick, tonight. We appreciate you having us with you and you being with us. Starting lineups have been introduced. National anthem and all of the other pregame formalities and festivities have taken place, and we're ready to get this varsity volleyball contest underway. Going to be a busy week. For me, this is being played on a Thursday night, September the 12th. For me, typically, Friday begins a week of sporting events at the high school level, and, of course, Friday night means high school football, and the Hornets are preparing to take on Cecina. There's a cross-country meet at Whiteland on Saturday, and we'll give the schedule for next week as the opportunity presents itself. Among those across the front will be Sarah Anderson and Abby Stultz. Also Lindsay Giller in the starting lineup. For the Beech Grove Hornets, Cheyenne Sutt wears number 9. She's the sophomore, plays the back row, along with number 4, Taylor Tyree. Lindsay Hall barking out instructions as we speak. We see Mackenzie Marski is over there as well. Alex Ball will be closest to your screen for the Decatur Central Hawks. Playing in the middle for them will be Michaela Trent. Also starting up front will be Haley Curry. Among those in the back row will be Brina Smith. She wears number 13. Madison Berger is in the middle of the back row to start. And then closest to your screen will be Jenna Curtis, who's wearing number 23. Hornets start the serve, and not the way Coach Lindsay Hall wants to start it. It gets chucked into the net, and just like that, the Hawks of Decatur Central are up 1-0. For those of you not familiar, maybe haven't seen volleyball in a while, several years ago went to the rally scoring that was so popular internationally and in the collegiate game. And really, the length of the match is still pretty much the same as Giller attempts to kill there, and it goes just a bit long. The length of the match is essentially the same. They play them to 25 with the fifth and deciding game, if necessary, going to 15. But it's improved the pace of the game and the speed of the game simply because they're scoring on each and every serve. Hawks with the set, finish partially blocked. Stultz sets it up, and Beech Grove finishes with the kill. It'll be one serving 2 now. First game action just underway as Kayla Kaiser comes onto the floor. Senior, Dad Paul, of course, superintendent of schools here at Beech Grove, and an outstanding basketball player at Ball State University. Had Dr. Kaiser on with us last year a couple of times for volleyball games. Talk a little bit about his career in athletics and also Beech Grove as a whole. A little bit later on this evening, Carl Palva, who's seated across the way behind the Beech Grove bench, will be joining us. And Carl is our head trainer here at Beech Grove High School, and he's had more and more responsibility heaped upon him each and every year. Of course, as it pertains to high school football and wrestling and other sports, the awareness of concussions, not only on the pro and collegiate level, but that's trickled down to the high school level. Giller with the kill there, nicely set. She finishes it. Carl does an awfully nice job of making sure our athletes are well taken care of and also safe, and takes a lot of the worry out of the coach's hands. And Carl has actually started teaching a couple of athletic training courses here at Beech Grove High School, and we'll be talking to him about all of that and more coming up a little bit later on in this broadcast. Hawks up 3-2 with the Hornets serving. Nice block at the net, and the finish by Taylor Tyree. Osmus is senior. Alea Murray, who you'll see some, is a junior. Marski is a junior. Tyree is a senior. Giller, Carr, Anderson, part of an outstanding group of juniors that Beech Grove High School features. Had a double hit there. Typically when you see that up, Judge, the referee stick those 2 fingers up to the air shortly after the whistle. That's when the ball is hit when the hands are not necessarily even, and that's called a double hit. And that's a loss of serve and the point if you were serving at the time. Little back set and the finish. Good kill there by number 36, Michaela Trent. This one's neck and neck early as we're all tied up at 4. Giller with the set. Kaiser with the tip over. Can't finish it. Decatur takes advantage of the lack of communication on the part of the Beech Grove Hornets, and Shelby Miller picks up the point for the Hawks. JV football team travels to Mooresville. Originally Broad Ripple on the schedule. They had to cancel, and fortunately Mooresville was able to pick up that hole in the schedule. JV football team currently 1-2. Long serve goes back to Decatur Central and ties it up at 5. A loss to Martinsville, the JV football team, and a big win over Speedway a couple of weeks ago. Then a 10-0 loss this past Monday to Cecina. They've struggled offensively, 12 quarters without a score, but the defense has been solid throughout. Of the 38 kids that typically dress for a JV football game, 33 of them are freshmen. So the future certainly looks bright. Golf team will be in action versus Ritter and Guerin Catholic at Eagle Creek on Monday. The tennis team will be at Franklin Central. That's a 4:30 start. The girls soccer team at Speedway at 5:30, and the freshman volleyball team will be at home versus Prairie Meridian at 5:30. Point there ties it back up at 6 now. Again, if you're not familiar with how volleyball is scored, the potential for scoring is there on each and every serve. No time limit on the game as that one goes into the net. Each game is to 25, and the fifth and deciding game, as we said, goes to 15. Hawks lead by 1 with the 7-6 serve. Decatur with a nice job of the attempted kill. Hornets work hard to keep it alive. The outside set, the finish no good by Sarah Anderson. It goes out long, and the Hawks have jumped up by a deuce. Communication so very, very vital in any team sport, particularly so in the case of volleyball. Court awareness is huge. Outside set, dug out by the Hawks, and the return's just a little short. So Beech Grove picks up the point, pulls to within 1. And Mackenzie Marski returns to the floor. The junior set to serve it away. The set is a little short. That one flies out of bounds and give the point to the Hornets, and they tie it up. JV 1-3 tonight over Decatur Central. Pretty dominating performance in game number 2 after coming up short in game 1. They actually got up early and then lost focus a little bit, losing game 1. Come back and won the second, and then won the third in deciding game. So a big win for Coach Parker. And that one inadvertently hit by Shelby Garza in the back row, and it goes out of bounds off of Garza. So the cheap point for the Beech Grove Hornets, and they will take it. After being down 2, it's a 4-point swing, and they find themselves up by a deuce. Non-conference game, but still important nonetheless. The attempted block by Giller trickles off the left side of her hands and out of bounds. So just like that, it goes right back to Decatur Central Hawks. But it's a pretty good measuring stick for Beech Grove right now, I think, with Decatur Central, 5A school. Traditionally, pretty solid. Nice dig on the net by Abby Stoltz, but it falls a little short. They can't quite gather it back in, get it over the net. And Madison Berger will serve for Decatur Central from the middle of the floor. Dug out nicely off the back row by Brooklyn Carr and dispatched over to Decatur Central side, and we've got a double hit charged against the Hawks, their second such infraction of this game. And again, in case you missed it earlier, we had the double hit. That's when the hands aren't necessarily even and they hit the ball simultaneously. That's an illegal move and automatically goes away from the team committing the infraction. Bree Hurt with a serve, scores a point. Tied at 11. No one wants to take control of this one early. Game number 1. Girls varsity volleyball here at Beech Grove. That was a big-time serve. Brina Smith delivered that one, the junior. Again, no answer for Beech Grove. That jump serve became very popular about 5 years ago, trickled down from the international game to the collegiate ranks, and a lot of coaches started teaching it at the high school level. And last couple of years, it's kind of gone away a bit, but no reason for it to go away now. The attempted dig by Bree Hurt couldn't quite get her hand underneath it. And Brina Smith is on a bit of a roll for the Hawks. That one's long. Jinkster will take it. Point goes to the Hornets and stems the tide a bit. Abby Stoltz from the middle of the floor. Short serve. Bumped up and set. Attempt on the outside kill is short. That was Haley Curry chucking it into the net, giving the Hornets a 1-point advantage. Or 1-point deficit, we should say, 14-13. That one's short. Just when it's rally scoring, you simply cannot build momentum if you don't serve consistently. And I don't care what level you play at. Collegiate level, high school, middle school, youth league. You simply must serve consistently. You can't do anything else if you're not successful there. Lizzie Giller with the attempted kill. Didn't quite get enough of it. They're going to try to set her again. No, they go outside instead, and that one is delivered home by Taylor Tyree. Great pass, set, and hit. Great teamwork along the front row by the Beech Grove Hornets. Keeps them within striking distance, trailing 15-14. Game number 1. With a serve, it's a short one. Dug out by the Hawks. Laid on the net for a moment. Tapped back over. Partially blocked. Try to set middle. No, they set outside to Kaiser. The Hawks keep it in play. The pass over and the reset. They'll go outside. Partially blocked, and then it falls to the floor. Give the kill to Taylor Tyree. Great elevation. Hit the ball at the top of its arc, which is key to getting the kill. Didn't quite get the finish, though, and it goes back to Decatur Central. Back row set a little too deep, and the Hornets are in the net. 21 Shelby Garza handling the service duties for the Hawks of Decatur Central, who find themselves in front 16-15. Nice middle court serve. Too strong on the attempted finish. Didn't quite follow through with the arm swing. That's Madison Berger. She chucked it into the bleachers where most of the Beech Grove Hornet football team has set up shop. A couple of Coach English's basketball players over there. Michael Jennings and Joey Cardenas. Nice to see them here supporting the Beech Grove Hornet volleyball team. Nice finish. Sarah Anderson, far side on the outside. And suddenly the Hornets find themselves in front by 1. If you can get a 3 or 4 point lead and get yourself to 20 or 21, makes it awfully difficult for your opponent to come back. Woes continue. The service percentage not impressively high for the Beech Grove Hornets. That will be a discussion by Coach Hall, most assuredly. Kayla Kaiser says, my bad. She got caught in between there. Couldn't really bump it. Couldn't really pass it. It caught her right about the neckline, and it fell to the floor. Hawks up 18-17. Outside set. Sarah bumped back up to the front row. Passed over, and the Hornets will reset. Now they'll be forced to pass it over. They'll set middle with the Hawks. Attempted finish is blocked away by the Hornets. Decatur Central goes to the outside of the strong kill. But number 25, Madison Berger, she's an active player. Does a nice job covering ground on the back row, has a strong, powerful serve, and certainly is aware of the net. 19-17, Hornets need to stem the tide right here. They trail by a deuce. To Kaiser outside, blocked. Giller saves it, keeps it in play. They'll pass it to the back row, across the net, no good. Outside set, blocked by Kaiser. Hornets will try to regroup, and really wasn't a good pass. They didn't reset the ball and give themselves a chance to pass said hit, and just like that, the Hawks find themselves in front by 3. And Coach Hall is going to take a timeout here. (2017) as the Hawks of Decatur Central set to serve. They'll do so, and the finish. Give the kill to Cheyenne Sutt. Nice-looking sophomore player for the Beech Grove Hornets. Nice blend of experience. The seniors, Tyree, Osmus, Kaiser, and Stultz. The freshman on the varsity roster, Michelle Jennings, who's a nice player. That one trickles out long and goes out of bounds, and the Hawks find themselves in front by 3, 21-18. But Lindsey Hall has to be awfully optimistic about her future here at Beech Grove in terms of what she's assembled. As we mentioned, JV program already winners tonight in 3 games over Decatur Central, so the future certainly looks bright. A solid freshman program as well. Set, outside hit, partially blocked at the net, but it falls to the floor. Cheyenne gets the kill. 21-19. Marski with a serve. A backspin on the attempted pass up, and they have to pass it across the net. Set at the net. Giller with the attempted kill and gets the finish. Stepping up to block it was Alex Ball, but she couldn't finish it. It caught her about the forearms and rolled right down her body into the floor. 21-20. Decatur Central not liking the direction that things are going. They too decide to take a timeout. Lindsey Hall, the head coach of the Beech Grove varsity volleyball team, her assistant is Lois Roseberry. Lois just recently named an associate head coach of the girls softball program. She'll take over those duties immediately and begin play in the spring of 2014. She's awfully excited about that opportunity. Amy Parker, as we mentioned, she's back on the sidelines, one of the outstanding female athletes in the history of Beech Grove High School. She's on maternity leave now. Her husband with the Beech Grove Police Department, our new girls varsity basketball coach here, and that family spends a lot of time at Beech Grove, and of course they have a new addition to their family they welcomed over the summer, and everybody happy and healthy and ready for another season, and more Hornets on the pipeline, folks, in the Parker family. Jalen Roseberry is the freshman coach here at Beech Grove High School. Back row pass up, set to the outside, blocked away by Decatur. And it got out of bounds before it could find the inbounds line, and just like that, we're tied to 21. Mackenzie Marski. Get the Hornets on a roll and leave them there. Outside. Finished off. Off the set, Brina Smith gets the point for the Hawks. 22-21 now. Madison Berger set to serve it. Just a sophomore. Dee Taylor's the head coach. Julie Curry, Marcia Shoemaker, the assistants. Joe Prada, the principal at Decatur Central, also their boys varsity basketball coach. That one trickles along the net. Giller can't save it back, and 2-point advantage now for Decatur Central. Timeout, Lindsey Hall. Hornets look to regroup here. Trailing in this opening game, 23-21 to the Hawks of Decatur Central. Hawks trying to salvage a split on tonight after the Hornet JV team won their match in 3. Serve hits the net and trickles over. That's the only rule in rally scoring I don't like. I think if a ball hits the net, shouldn't reward either team, in my opinion. You should just lose serve, which is the way it used to be. And that wraps up game number 1. So a strong finish off the service of number 25, Madison Berger, gives the Hawks a 25-21 decision in game number 1. Just about ready to get game number 2 underway. Beech Grove looking to rebound after coming up a bit short in game number 1. Score 25-21 in favor of the Hawks of Decatur Central. And happy to have with us the outstanding athletic trainer here at Beech Grove High School, Carl Palma. Carl, first of all, welcome. Glad you're able to spend some time with us tonight.
All right, thank you for having me up here.
Well, you and I were talking out on the practice field tonight before we came in, and I thought, this would be a great opportunity for us to bring you on board and give people an idea just exactly what it is you do and how you do it as the Hornets start off getting the service back right away as Decatur Central chucks one into the net. That was Brina Smith on the missed serve, and it will go over now to Bree Hurt for the Beech Grove Hornets. But it's a labor of love. It has to be. Talk about, if you would, first of all, what led you to a career in athletic training.
Well, I started off playing soccer when I was about 3 years old. Kept with that all the way through high school. Picked up basketball along the way as well, so I was a high school athlete as well. Spent my freshman year at the high school I was at in the athletic training room a lot. I tore my quadriceps tendon and then tore my MCL in successive seasons, one in soccer, one in basketball. So our athletic trainer out there really talked to me about, he had a class that he taught as far as sports medicine and trying to teach people what it was and that kind of thing, and kind of piqued my interest and got me involved that way. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to do a whole lot with it because of high school sports.
Right.
But so from there, it was just kind of trying to find the right school. I went to high school out in California and ended up back here, coming back to University of Indianapolis to do my collegiate work. So.
That's an outstanding program at the University of Indianapolis. One of the most respected. For years, Indiana State was the place to go in the state of Indiana for athletic training. Still has a great program, but I think U of I is really an up-and-coming program.
Yeah, they've upped their program, they've upped their athletics, they've upped a lot of stuff over the past 5-10 years. And Indiana State's kind of where it all began as far as athletic training as a profession, too. I mean, that was back in the 1950s. They were one of the first schools to actually come up with a curriculum for it.
I know there are a lot of NBA, Major League Baseball, and NFL trainers and staff members that went through Indiana State University, and that program continues to be a solid one. So what brought you to Beech Grove? How did you end up here at Beech Grove High School?
Coming out of undergrad, there wasn't a whole lot open. I ended up at Frankfort High School for about 8 months. Got a call from my program director at UIndy about an opening at Greenwood High School. I was there for about 3 months and was with St. Francis Sports Medicine at the time. That program got taken over by a different hospital, and I came over to Beech Grove because the lady that was here was pregnant and going to have her son in the middle of football season. So she stepped down and I stepped in, and that's kind of how it went.
Michaela Trent with a finish there for Decatur Central at the net. They hold on to the service now. That one might have gone out of bounds, but Beech Grove decided to play it anyway. A little mix-up in communication in the front court, and that makes it 4-3 now. Hawks trying to close that deficit as the serve continues. A nice run here for the Hawks of Decatur Central to start game number 2 in an attempt to tie it up. So now here we are at Beech Grove High School, and folks, you can't imagine the number of hours that this guy puts in. And coaching is a difficult enough profession because of all the responsibilities, but there is absolutely no extracurricular athletic program here at Beech Grove High School that you don't have some sort of involvement in.
Yeah, that's correct. It's pretty much everybody. and it's just me for the most part. We were fortunate enough this year to pick up some extra help. Our superintendent, Dr. Kaiser, really came through and made sure that we got some extra people out here because of the amount of hours I was putting in and the fact that some sports weren't getting any coverage. We have soccer that plays off-site, and a lot of nights they play the same night as volleyball, the same night as JV football, and one of them doesn't get covered because I have to be somewhere else. So we've gotten to a point where we're getting pretty much everybody taken care of, so that's kind of nice from that standpoint.
It is 6-4 now in favor of Decatur Central in game number 2 in this girls varsity volleyball match. We're visiting with Carl Palmer, the head athletic trainer. Okay, having been a football coach for a number of years, it seems like there is always an increased emphasis placed on different issues, be it related to equipment, be it related to injury, whatever. I don't think, though, that in the last 10, 15 years we have ever had an issue be this important, this consistently as the issue involving concussions, especially over the last couple of years. Talk a little bit about the increased emphasis on concussions. It seems to have started at the NFL level and has trickled all the way down to high school now.
Yeah, the NFL did a lot of work over the past 5-10 years regarding studying different parts of the brain and concussions and that kind of stuff. The biggest things that they've gotten are out of some of the players that have unfortunately passed away. I know there's a Bengals wide receiver that died a few years back that had never been diagnosed with a concussion in his lifetime, and they kind of opened him up and looked at his brain, and he'd had some massive traumas and some issues that he had going on with his brain without even being diagnosed with one. So we kind of had a perfect storm of things last year where everybody kind of had a panic attack regarding concussions and some of the things we were learning. But I think what the NFL has done is really helped us at the collegiate and high school level really understand, because they were able to put the money into some of that research for us.
Beech Grove called into the net. That makes the score 8-7 Decatur Central with the Hawks serving. Advances in equipment, not only that, but better diagnosis, better treatment, not being so quick to get players back onto the field. But also we've gone so far as to, I know for a fact, the research and development has gotten to the point where it's changed the way we tackle in the game of football.
Exactly. Unfortunately, there's no helmet, there's no equipment out there that will absolutely prevent a concussion. I wish that was the case. That would make my job a lot easier most days. But what we have done is we've seen concussion helmets develop to the point where they prevent certain types of blows from being as traumatic, spreading out those blows over a certain area. And then the biggest thing that has helped is coaches teaching and looking at, why are we having so many concussions? Well, maybe we need to look at the technique we're teaching. We tend to have a lot of incoming freshmen or newer player type concussions because they just don't know how to tackle and they put their heads down. So coaching goes into a lot of it as well.
Hornets with a finish there to tie it up at 9 as Kaiser comes out of the ball game, and we'll send Michelle Jennings, the freshman, in to serve for the Beech Grove Hornets. So once a player is diagnosed with a concussion, typically what process do you go through before that player can go back onto the field? What do you need to see and what has to happen before they can go back onto the field?
Okay, so Indiana passed a state law last summer regarding concussions, and anytime that a player is deemed to have even symptoms similar to that of a concussion, they must be removed from play for that day, and then have to be seen and treated by a physician that is specially trained in managing concussions. So what that's done is taken a little bit out of our hands as far as the diagnosis and treatment,
right?
And has also really taking it out of our hands as far as making that decision to put a kid back in, just because we'd rather be safe than sorry regarding that stuff.
Marski successful with a serve there to give the Beech Grove Hornets a 1-point advantage. I'm amazed now, now that we're more aware of concussions. Folks, concussions are not confined to the sport of football. We have them in all sports.
Yeah, it's never, last year, and I can speak numbers-wise, we had, I believe, 22 concussions. We only had 5 in the sport of football last year. So all of those other ones came from other sports or we had a number of them that were just from home life, kids falling down, walking into a door, playing with the dog, something like that. So they do come from all angles.
Now, if I'm not mistaken, we actually have preventative measures in place here at Beech Grove. Before the sporting season begins in the summer and going into the fall, was there a test that we gave all of our athletes to see if maybe they had suffered a concussion and we weren't aware of it?
The test is more of a baseline type test. So anytime a kid has a concussion, now we have this impact is the system that we use.
Right.
Is basically a system where they take a test and we use it as their baseline. That's what their normal brain function is like. So they have a lot of questions, memory things, that kind of speed, that kind of stuff that they try and score well on. That way, if we feel they have sustained a concussion, we have something to compare it to. It's not so much a diagnostic tool anymore. We don't use it to diagnose the concussions, but we use it more for that return to play progression. So if they can't meet that baseline on that score, then they're definitely not ready to come back to their sport.
So parents, there is a program out there that can allow you to determine whether or not your teenage child's brain function are normal. We can figure out normal brain function in a teenager now?
Apparently we can. It's what their normal function is for them. So everybody's score is different. The question I always get from every one of our athletes is, what happens if I fail this test? There's really no way to fail it. It's just it gives them a score and something that they have to meet as a baseline to come back to their sport.
Bree Hurt serves it into the net. We were tied at 13 until that serve. It'll go back to the Hawks of Decatur Central. The thing that I think you have to be most excited about is the fact that as if you didn't have enough to do, you found your way into the classroom this year.
Oh, yeah. Last year we switched hospitals again and joined on with Community Health Network with their brand new sports medicine program. And as part of that, I got the opportunity to jump into the classroom and teach a couple of sports medicine classes. So it's a little different. Last year was a lot of learning how to teach for me because I'm not a teacher. I'm an athletic trainer. So I have a lot of knowledge, but it's being able to translate that to learning for the kids was my struggle. So I've enjoyed it so far. I think it's getting better. We've got we've got pretty decent numbers in the classes. And then trying to turn those kids over to kind of help out throughout the afternoon and really learn what it's like to be in the field, whether it's, athletic training, sports medicine, physical therapy, physicians, anything like that.
Hawks in the net, and the Hornets trying to go on a bit of a run here behind the strong service of Abby Stoltz, the junior. They've reeled off a couple in a row now, and they lead at 16-14. Good serve, kind of left middle, if you will. Hawks with the attempted outside set. Hits off the beams and falls to the floor, and just like that, the rally is over, and it'll go back to Decatur Central. As I mentioned, the hours that you put in are unbelievable, but I about fell over about a week ago when you came out and reminded our kids as to what time that you are available. And if you're not here enough during the week, give folks an idea of what your Saturdays are like for you here at Beech Grove High School.
My Saturdays, so we get done, and football games usually get done around 9:30, 10 o'clock. I'm never, ever out the door here until about 11, 11:30. Some nights it's even later than that. My Saturday starts at 5 a.m., so I'm up at 5 a.m., take care of my dog at home, get a cup of coffee, and I'm out the door. I'm in the door at school by 6 a.m., and so from there it's getting stuff ready as far as football coming in, and kids are supposed to come in for injury check prior to practice starting at 8 o'clock. We also have a number of teams that either leave or have games on Saturday. So cross country last Saturday left at 6:30. And then from there it's, football comes in and I deal with any injuries from that standpoint. I get a lot of my paperwork done, get caught up on some things for the week, do some grading for class, and I'm usually out of here by about 1 or 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
Well, we'll let you get back to the sidelines and enjoy this one. We appreciate you taking the time to talk to us, and thank you for the outstanding work you do. And, folks, I can tell you from firsthand experience, our kids are in great hands with Carl Palmer. We appreciate all that you do for Beech Grove High School.
Thanks for having me up here, too.
We'll be back with more. It's 18-16, timeout on the floor. Hawks trying to pull away from Beech Grove. Again, we'll be back after this timeout. Hawks of Decatur Central. Garza with a serve. Giller with a kill. Tell she spent some time in the offseason. A little bigger, a little stronger than she was a year ago. Just a junior. And, boy, her senior year should be an awfully good one for Lindsey Holt and Beech Grove, but still plenty of work to do, and that was a no-doubter. Brina Smith can flat bring it. Bumps the advantage back up to 2 for the Hawks at 19-17 in game number 2 after DC won the first one 25-21. Beech Grove in the hive tonight. Kaiser with a little touch pass across the net. Attempted kill is a bit long by Brina Smith. Hit it off the heel of the hand. It'll go back to Beech Grove. 19-18 your score. Fall is a wonderful time of the Hoosier State. All of these fall high school sports. High school football on Friday, all the college football around the state and the nation on Saturday, and of course the Colts and the rest of the NFL on Sunday. And again, it is next to impossible for the Beech Grove Hornets to put together a consistent run and try to pull away at all from the Decatur Central Hawks because consecutively, I think they've reeled off at the most 3 serves tonight. I don't think they've done any better than that all night long, and I understand it's difficult to do in rally scoring, but boy, that lack of service consistency has really been tough. Fortunately, they've been fairly strong around the net. The finish there results in a point and cuts the deficit to 1 at 2019. They'll want to keep it right here. The freshman Michelle Jennings back to the floor for the Beech Grove Hornets. An arcing serve, top of the net, partially blocked right there. Beech Grove, great net defense. Tipped over. Sun is very active at the net. Giller passes it up to the back row. They're going to try to set up the kill here, and they do. Pretty active offensive set that time for the Beech Grove Hornets. Results in a point and ties this one at 20. Jennings with a serve. Pretty strong return by Madison Berger, but the Hornets handle it. Middle set, partially blocked it out of bounds. Tell you, Brina Smith loads up and finishes more often than not. Madison Berger now heads past the out-of-bounds line. Not a jump serve, but a strong one nonetheless. Tyree's got to get the body turned a bit, get behind that ball that goes from that angle, off her wrist and out of bounds. And Lindsey Hall wants to take a break. While she does, we will too. 22-20, Decatur Central in game number 2. Decatur Central Hawks leading the Beech Grove Hornets. Madison Berger with the serve for the Hawks after they won the first game 25-21. Not much clearance over the top of the net. Those are extremely difficult serves to return. Hawks looking to get into the driver's seat in this game. Set and match. That one off the attempted pass up. Across the net and out of bounds. 24-20 now, and Decatur Central looking to put this game in the books. Berger with a serve. Hit that one into the net, and it goes back to Beech Grove. That'll bring Mackenzie Marski, the junior, back to the floor. She's had pretty good service success tonight. That has been a rarity for the Hornets. Good look at her. The pass across. Set attempt to Giller, and she'll finish. Nice set by Abby Stoltz to put her in position to put that one away. And Decatur Central not wanting them to gain any measure of momentum. They'll take a timeout. We'll keep it right here. 24-22 your score. 24-22. Marski with the serve, trying to pull the Hornets back into this one. Serves a little long, but it's passed up for the back row. They'll tap it over onto the floor. Hornets with a nice save, and it's kicked into the bleachers. Lee Giller with the outstanding play to keep that ball alive and keep the Hornets alive in game number 2. 24-23 now. Marski with a serve. Passed across the net. A miss hit at the net, and Decatur Central finds themselves in command now. 25-23. And the Hornets have a huge hole to climb out of here at home. We'll be back with game number 3 in just a couple of minutes on BGTV. Lindsay Hall and the Beech Grove Hornets with a lot of work to do to extend this one. They find themselves in a 2-0 hole. 25-21 Decatur Central in game number 1, 25-23 in game number 2. And again, service consistency continues to be the issue. Communication's not been all that bad. They've covered the floor pretty well. Passing and setting has been pretty solid. Kills have been decent as well. Decatur Central is in possession of some very strong hitters. Do cover the floor pretty well defensively, but again, one of the big equalizers I think that isn't utilized enough from time to time is the one you just saw. Lizzie Giller, the junior, at the net. She did a nice job of shutting the door there and gives Beech Grove the quick 1-0 advantage. Bree Hurt with a service. Hawks pass it over, try to set up Giller this time in the middle. Mistimed the jump, but they say the Hawks found their way into the net. And they'll hold serve at 2-0. Game number 3 here, varsity volleyball contest. Match being played on Thursday, September 12th here at Beech Grove High School. Pretty solid start for Bree Hurt. Giller again remains active at the net, keeping the ball alive. Might have gotten a little piece of that one. They'll set outside this time. The attempted pass over. Double hit is called. And the unforced error returns the volleyball to Decatur Central with an opportunity to tie it up at 2 here early on. That one returned a little short. Our apologies for not giving you identification of the player serving for Decatur Central, but when you ask the coach prior to the contest for everybody's name and number and they don't give you one, you can't very well introduce her and she's not on the roster. So our apologies to any of her relatives here at Beech Grove watching on BGTV that might wonder why she's not been mentioned. That's exactly why. You can thank your coaching staff for that at Decatur Central High School. So anyway, 3-2 Beech Grove. Abby Stoltz with a serve. Passed up. The outside set. Comes up a little short, and Kayla Kaiser among those at the door to shut it. They've doubled them up now at 4-2. So again, I get a couple of serves in a row and then can't hold service. They lose their opportunity of momentum, but that's 3 in a row now for Abby as she heats up a little bit. A likable senior. Involved in a lot of things here at Beech Grove High School. She's staked her ball club to a 5-2 advantage. Attempted pass over the net. Would have been a great kill opportunity there for Decatur, but they passed it up. That time they shut the door at the net. 36, Michaela Trent among those, the presence around the net to make it 5-3 now. The Hawks have service and trail it by a deuce. Haley Curry with that serve. Stoltz with the outside set to Kaiser. Came up a little short, but still cleared the net. Nice regroup by the Hawks of Decatur Central. They'll set it close to the net. Kaiser gets into the net, I believe. And now they're going to call it a double hit. Lindsey Hall walks over, gives some instructions to Kayla Kaiser. Hawks to within one now at 5-4. Little back set. Giller with a finish. Nice looking play. Passed up to Abby Stultz, and Giller there with a finish. 6-4 now. 2-point advantage. Izzy with a serve. Serves it short and found the hole. 7-4. Just look a little more consistent here in this third game, and I think Dee Taylor, the coach of Decatur Central, recognizes that. She'll take a timeout. We'll step away as well. Third game. Hornets up 7-4. Dee Taylor hoping to get her ball club refocused and get out of this one in 3. They lead 2 games to none, 25-21, 25-23, the scores in the first 2. But Hornets trying to stay alive. They lead this third game. A missed set. And again, the double hit called on Beech Grove, and they've had that called several times tonight and put that in the unforced error category. And that just kills any momentum that you're attempting to build in this third and what could be deciding game. 7-5 now. Beech Grove. Libero. Garza with the service. And the miss hit sees it fall to the floor. DC now is a point away from tying this one up. Garza almost looked like she doubled up her fist when she hit that ball and hit off the bottom of her hand and had no chance to even get to the net. So it stays at a 2-point advantage for Beech Grove, and ideally you'd like to bump that up to maybe 4 or 5. Then trade points with them. Good service by Brooklyn Card. That was hit long out of bounds, and suddenly the Hornets have a 3-point advantage. 9-6. Again, Carr with a service. Miss hit out of bounds into the bleachers, and the struggles continue in this third game for the Decatur Central Hawks. They look nothing like the confident team that was able to pick up wins in close contests in the first 2 games. 10-6 now, and Beech Grove chunks that one into the net. Hawks see the deficit reduced to 3, and one of their big hitters, Brina Smith, will set up shop at the service line now. The jump serve is a miss hit. One of the reasons why I was never a fan of it. And again, it trickled down from the international and the college game, and the high school players, you saw it a lot 5 years ago, but it seems like the last couple of years now, more and more players have gotten away from it. Probably the influence of club volleyball. Miscommunication along the back row, and the wheels have fallen off for the Hawks of Decatur Central. They suddenly find themselves at a 5-point deficit at 12-7. Michelle Jennings, a freshman. Very consistent service. Not a strong, powerful hitter, but certainly consistent. He's able to get the ball over the net and give her club a chance to maintain momentum. They can't finish it there, though, and it's back to a 4-point lead for the Hornets. And now the official sends it back to Beech Grove. So take that point away and make it 13-7. So take advantage of that one now. You have a 6-point lead, and you need to build on it. Nice dig out of the back row by Giller. The outside set and the finish. Samantha Osmus drives that one home, but they've doubled them up now, 14-7. So Coach Hall has hit the button here in game number 3 with the Beech Grove Hornets. And Decatur Central suddenly is not covering the floor nearly as well, mishitting on a consistent basis, and Beech Grove is really in command now at 15-7. That too is long. Jennings on a bit of a roll here, so the freshman really giving the Hornets some breathing room in this third game as they try to stay alive, down 2-0. That serve a bit shorter. Passed up out of the back row. They'll try the back middle hit. And again, just an absolutely lack of concentration at this point, and the frustration is starting to register with Brina Smith a bit, because after they set her and she mishit it into the net, she looked at the players of the front row and said, guys, don't set me anymore. That was that waving most of the arms back and forth, basically telling her team to not set her anymore. So the struggles continue for the Hawks in Game 3. 17-7 Hornets. Taylor, Julie Curry, Marcia Shoemaker, the coaching staff for Decatur Central, trying to get their club refocused a bit. They won a couple of tight ones, 25-21 in game number 1, 25-23 in game number 2. But, boy, all of a sudden, communication and the ability to finish is gone. And they find themselves in a whole 17-7. That's a fairly effective timeout because it slowed the juggernaut created by Michelle Jennings. And it's now a 17-8 score with the Hawks serving. 2 straight points now for Decatur Central, makes it 17-9. It's a big, big hole to climb out of in high school volleyball, though, when you're down 17-9. Jennings and Tyree with a mix-up in communication, but Beech Grove's able to finish. Nice block at the net. What an awesome play by Cheyenne Sott. Decatur Central elevated there and thought the finish was a done deal, but that sophomore said not so fast and rejected it with authority. 18-9. Great serve by Marski. Outside pass over. They just don't have the ability in this game for whatever reason to pass, set, and hit. But the Hornets sure do. Giller with a finish off the nice delivery from Abby Stoltz. 10-point advantage now at 19-9. It's to the point in this game to where Decatur Central can't win this game. Beech Grove would have to lose it. And unfortunately, almost on cue, Mackenzie Marski chucks it into the net. 19-10. One of the stronger, most consistent servers for Decatur Central. It's 23, Jenna Curtis. But Beech Grove not impressed with what she has done earlier on this night. And they find themselves up 10, 20-10. And now Decatur Central is just kind of holding on and hoping for better fortunes in game number 4. It would take a total collapse on the part of the Hornets, who have gotten better as the night progresses. Case in point, Lindsey Giller with the awareness and the kill at the net. 21-10 to score. Just the intensity level with which Beech Grove is playing, and all of a sudden, I think, at the same time, Decatur Central started to relax a little bit. Not the same level of consistency or purpose in their play. I think they thought it was going to be too easy, and Beech Grove would come out, roll over in game 3, get on the bus, and go home. But somebody forgot to tell Lindsey Hall and company that. Bree Hurt with a serve. The attempted middle kill. Attempted save by Marski falls innocently out of bounds. And it's 22-11 now with service going back to the Hawks of Decatur Central. Follow the action all season long here on BGTV of Beech Grove Volleyball. And of course, a flurry of activity during the winter sports season. Giller with the big finish. 23-11. We'll have girls and boys high school basketball and also have Beech Grove wrestling. And then, of course, when Mother Nature says it's springtime here at the Grove, we'll have Beech Grove softball next spring. Happy to have all of it for you here on BGTV. Little backward set over the net. Double hit. 23-12 now. Decatur Central with the ball and service. Haley Curry will take a shot at it. Long and out. Great communication from the front row to the back for the Beech Grove Hornets. Said Lindsey Giller can put the wraps on this one and keep them alive. It's 24-12 off her service. Have it a little short. Out of bounds. And the Hornets not ready to go home yet. They'll take game number 3, 25-12. Game number 4 after this on BGTV. There will be a 4th game, best of 5, so Beech Grove trying to come all the way back in this one. They lost the first 2, 25-21. They lost the second, 25-23, and then put together a strong performance, decidedly winning game number 3 of this best of 5, 25-12, forcing a game 4. Decatur Central will start to serve it. Giller picks up right where the Hornets left off with an outstanding pass, set, and hit, and the finish. I want to thank Shelby Savage, J.J. Fatute, Malcolm Larry, Michaela Ward, and Delaney Mitchell. That's the outstanding crew that Wiley Kraft has assembled here to bring you all of the pictures and sound and production of this game. These young people work in the television department here at Beech Grove High School, and they are a talented bunch, and Delaney pulled double duty tonight. She actually handled the introductions on the public address tonight for the JV and varsity. Did a great job doing so, and you can catch them on Swarm on YouTube and also on our website, and you can catch all of the things that they write, edit, and produce. A talented bunch of young people. So thanks to, again, Shelby Savage, J.J. Fatute, Malcolm Larry, Michaela Ward, and Delaney Mitchell for all of their work tonight. Strong play at the net continues by Lizzie Giller, and it's almost like that she's put the saddle on and said, I'm taking this one over. And she has staked her club to a 3-0 lead here in game number 4. Little, decent service by Bree Hurt to get it started, too. More than decent, being a bit facetious there. Little short on the set, the double hit. The carry, we should say. Alex Ball guilty of that infraction, and just like that, Beech Grove has jumped out to a 4-0 advantage. Can't get over how the Tide stemmed. I just think it's chalked up to Decatur Central relaxing a little bit. And this hit that time by Bree Hurt puts it in the net, and they lost their focus. And a credit to Lindsay Hall, Lois Roseberry, and Amy Parker. They kept their ball club pumped up and in this one. They trail it 2-1, the Hornets do. They're trying to force a 5th and deciding game here. As the Hawks of Decatur Central want to say enough's enough, start the bus and head back to Decatur Township. The outside set partially blocked at the net. They say the Hornets were in the net, and it's now 4-3. I want to thank our trainer, Carl Palmer, for joining us earlier tonight. Interesting conversation with Carl, talking about all the technology and advancement in the prevention and treatment of concussions, all the things that he does to protect the athletes here at Beech Grove High School. It's a great program, and we want to thank, of course, Dr. Kaiser and Dr. Keeley and Steve Cox and Matt English for their support. The school board, of course, the school board of trustees here at Beech Grove for funding that very, very important program that Carl heads up. And tell you what, folks, it's a labor of love because he puts in a ton of hours protecting our student athletes here at Beech Grove High School, and we're oh so lucky to have him. 5-3 your score, Hornets with a serve. And again, all of a sudden, Decatur has lost the ability to communicate for the back row to the front. Settle down, the order issued from D. Taylor off the sidelines. Good serve by Abby Stultz. Can't remember the last time the Hawks had a pass set and hit along the front row. They just want to pass everything over and bump everything over. And the Hornets are taking full advantage of that because they're catching them crowding around the net. They're out of position, just like that right there. A great read by Lizzie Giller. It's almost as though they set the Hawks up for that. Hawks not covering the floor nearly as well as they did And again, a charge has been pumped into the Beech Grove Hornets as they find themselves in front by 4 now, 7-3. The yellow card issued to the Decatur Central sidelines. That's a no-no. That sets D. Taylor down in a hurry. Front row set to Giller, and she finishes again. Now, they called her for a lift or a carry, either one. But I don't. That was the issue taken by D. Taylor. She gets a yellow card for it, and then they turn around and make that call the very next time they had the opportunity. Change the call from the way it has been called before, and Lindsey Hall was not necessarily in agreement with that, but considering that her club has the momentum, or had it, that is, she didn't argue too vehemently, especially when she knows the officials in the mood to dole out yellow cards. Just like that at 7-6. That could be a momentum swing for the Hawks. The Hornets trying to shut the door. Kaiser into the net. Just like that, we're tied at 7. This might be a place where Lindsey Hall wants to talk it over. That yellow card may have served almost like a technical foul serve sometimes for basketball teams. Sometimes it can pump a little life into them. Sure, D. Taylor hoping that's the case, although not a big fan of the yellow card, but Kayla Kaiser says, don't get too comfortable, Hawks. And she finishes with a kill. Nice outside hit by Kayla Kaiser, who's bound for Anderson University next year. Will play volleyball and basketball there. Beautiful campus, Anderson, home of the Indianapolis Colts NFL training camp. Giller with a back row pass, the outside set, and the finish. Taylor Tyree off the set closes the deal, makes it 9-7. Giller with a short serve makes it 9-8. Do let you folks know, I'm Mark James, happy to be filling in tonight for the voice of the Hornets. Joe Pick, he's normally with you, but has so many other responsibilities. Joe not able to be with us tonight. I'll also be on board next Thursday, the 19th, when the girls' volleyball team is at home, filling in for him. But fear not, folks. He will be back behind the microphone very, very soon. Very strong finish by Madison Berger. Put off the hands of the Hornets, and suddenly this one's tied. Alex Ball. The set, Kaiser, the kill attempt is returned. Blocked at the net nicely. Hornets keep it alive and regroup. Outside set, attempted pass over is blocked. Reset by Stultz. Kaiser passes it over and finishes. Saw the hole and found it. Great court awareness by Kayla Kaiser. Results in a finish for the Beech Grove Hornets. And it's now 10-9. Hawks lead 2-1. This fourth game in the best of 5. Stultz with a set, outside hit. They couldn't cover it. Samantha Osmus picks up the point for Coach Hall and company. 11-9, 2-point advantage for the Hawks. They'd had a 4-point advantage and let the Hawks sneak back into it off the yellow card. And all of a sudden, they started to pull away a bit. So whatever measure of momentum Decatur Central was able to gain from that yellow card scenario is all but gone now, as the Hornets start to pick up some consistency with their service again. They have a 12-9 advantage in game number 4. That's a nice serve. Floats over the net, drops in a hurry. Passed up from the back row. Outside to Kaiser, partially blocked at the net. It falls to the floor. Just can't get over how much more active Beech Grove is around the net. And Dee Taylor knows she has a problem. After her club was in command 2-0, they find themselves in danger of having to play a fifth and deciding game here. 13-9, time out of the floor. Hornets lead in game number 4. Game number 4, 13-9 the score. Beech Grove with the 4-point advantage. Towing the line, Taylor Tyree flips it across. Outside set goes into the net. Brina Smith with the miss hit. And suddenly the advantage is 5 and it's getting into the danger zone if you're Dee Taylor and the Hawks of Decatur Central. I don't think they want to go 5 with the momentum that Beech Grove Hornets have on their side. Tyree with another serve. And again, a miss hit. This match has consisted of 2 matches within it. The one that Decatur Central was a part of in the first 2 and the one that Beech Grove has been a part of in the last 2 games. Tremendous resiliency shown by Lindsey Hall to this Beech Grove volleyball team, and they have Decatur Central utterly talking to themselves. 16-9 now. Hornets in command. If this gets to 20, Decatur Central might want to raise a white flag and worry about game number 5. Giller with the set middle to Kaiser. Nice return by Garza. Good block at the net and the finish. Well, Cheyenne Sutt's awfully active around that net for Beech Grove. Really nice job from the sophomore. Sees the floor very well. Has the power when she needs it, but her court awareness, her ability to read and find holes, really impressive. Tyree has him backpedaling off the service. Bump it out of the back row. Try to set middle. Set didn't get much on it. They'll go outside, and that one looked long. And it's 18-9 in favor of Beech Grove. Miss hit on the serve. She did a nice job, though, of buying her club some breathing room. Great service set by Taylor Tyree, the senior. 18-10, 8-point advantage. Hornets in command in game number 4. That helps the cause a great deal. They'll chuck it into the net and make it 19-10. And Lindsey Hall and company making a strong bid to come all the way back from being down 2-0 to close out the Hawks of Decatur Central in this 4th game. The finish at the net by Samantha Osmus and force a 5th and deciding game. 20-10, and for whatever the reason, down 20-10 in game 4. Dee Taylor, I don't know that she has that much to say during this timeout. She's just trying to hold off a little momentum. Back after this. Gym not quite as crowded during volleyball sometimes as it is during basketball, and Dee Taylor can be heard voicing her displeasure with the lack of concentration on the part of her club after being up 2-0. And whatever words of encouragement and inspiration she had did not pay off there as it was chucked into the net. And the Hornets in command, 21-20 in game 4. Miss hit at the net. Good idea by Abby Stoltz. She saw from her vantage point that the front of the net was open across the way and just tried to tap it across and down to the floor, but miss hit it. Great idea, great read. Just didn't finish. (22-11). And all the brain trust can do for Decatur Central is drop their heads in disgust. Lindsey Hall across the way, spending some extra time with Cheyenne Sutt, giving her some tips about how to play things around the net, and she's listened pretty well so far. A rare finish by the Hawks of Decatur Central there makes it 22-12. What they can't do is let them go on a 4, 5, 6-point run here and gain any momentum at all going into the fifth and deciding game. Just close it out as soon as you possibly can. Strong serve by Brina Smith. Giller flips it back over. Outside hit. Finds the middle of the floor, and it's 22-13. Brina Smith. Pass to the back row. A miss hit, almost out of bounds. They'll set the net. Partially blocked, and it finds the floor. 22-14. Decatur Central trying to rattle the bat rack, if you will, to use a baseball analogy here, and climb back into this fourth game. Doing so behind the strong service of number 13, Brina Smith. This wouldn't be a bad spot for Lindsey Hall to take a timeout for no other reason than to kill the momentum that they're trying to build here. 22-15. Decatur Central trails it. That's a miss hit. That's the problem when you're down by that kind of a deficit. The margin of error is so very slim. And now Beech Grove find themselves just 2 points away from coming all the way back from a 2-0 deficit to force a fifth and deciding game. Great serve by Bree Hurt. Poor passing back to the net by Decatur Central. And the Hawks are knocking on the door here. Bree Hurt taking her time. Waits for the whistle to signify the resumption of play. Hits it a bit short, makes it 24-16. Eight-point advantage for the Hornets. Pass over at the net by Abby Stultz. Blocked at the net by Giller, and we're going 5. How about the Beech Grove Hornets down 2-0, losing 25-21, 25-23, come back to win game number 3 rather convincingly. 25-10, and pick up a solid win in this one, 25-16. A fifth and deciding game when we come back. Momentum clearly on the side of Lindsey Hall and the Beech Grove Hornets. They lose game number 1, 25-21, lose game number 2, 25-23. Then all of a sudden they hit the button. Service starts to be more consistent. Play at the net starts to be more consistent. They walk away with game number 3, 25-12. At the midway point of that fourth game, it looked like Decatur Central, they were issued a yellow card, basically an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty. It looked like that they were going to try to get themselves back into it, but Decatur Central found that Beech Grove never wavered, and Lindsey Hall and her volleyball team find themselves now poised to come back from 2 games down to win this one in 5 at home. She steps over toward the midcourt line, telling the official that we ought to be set and ready to go by now. And she's aware of the fact that they have the momentum, and she does not like this lull in the action. A couple of final comments from Dean Taylor, and I think finally everybody's set and ready to go, and Decatur Central will serve to start this fifth and deciding game here at the Hive. Mark James filling in for Jim Pick tonight. Happy to have you with us. That serve barely trickles over the net. Nice recovery. Giller with the attempted kill. Decatur Central is able to finish that. Blocked at the net by Kaiser. It falls to the floor on the point. First point belongs to Beech Grove. Every one of them so very, very important. Next home date will be Thursday, September 19th. They'll welcome Whiteland. It's freshman, JV, and varsity volleyball. That one gets underway at 5:30, and we'll have that one for you here on BGTV as well. Bree Hurt picks up where she left off with a pretty strong service for Beech Grove. And the kill at the net by Taylor Tyree. Passed it over, found a little hole in the seam, and it trickled in for a 2-0 lead. You play this, I think, fifth and deciding game in segments of 5. Try to get to 5 first, then you try to get to 10 first. There to 3 first, we know that. Good serve by Bree. Mishit by Decatur Central. And it's now 4-0. I'm telling you, folks, if it gets to 5-0, that's a tough hole to climb out of in a game to 15. At the net. Bree digs it out. That one mishit at the net. Good idea by Taylor Tyree. She just wanted to get it right over the top of the net, and trickled off the knuckles and hit the net and fell to the floor. So 4-1 now. Hawks with the ball. Tied at 2 games apiece. Hawks win the first 2. Hornets win games 3 and 4. Save out of the back row by Marski. Hornets serve it across. Outside set, partially blocked. Last touched by Beech Grove. This may go to the wire. There's a lot of members of the Beech Grove football team here in attendance tonight. They play out Hurley and Cecina on Friday night the 13th. Good kill by Gill. I'll tell you, she's had a great game around the net for the Hornets. Kayla Kaiser will come back. She replaces Brooklyn Carr. Yeah, Giller's been all around the net all night. Had a lot of finishes. Solid performance by her for Coach Lindsey Hall tonight. Deep set. Double hit. Just don't get the hands even sometimes. And official right there. And both teams have been whistled for that infraction repeatedly. Abby Stoltz with her club up 6-2. A missed opportunity there. The unforced error and a little bounce up and down by Lindsey Hall, because she knows that's an opportunity to pull away a little bit more. 36, Michaela Trent will handle the service for the Hawks. Shoved out of the back row to Giller, and the finish. 4 hits. 7-3. If they can get to 10-3, that's an issue for the Hawks. And a level of comfort that the Hornets can enjoy. Giller with a serve. Hit into the rafters, and it falls to the floor. And now all of a sudden, Dee Taylor has resigned herself to the fact that for whatever the reason, the level of consistency and concentration has left her ball club. And about the only opportunity they have to score right now is when Beech Grove mishits on the service. Alex Bull to serve for the Hawks. Giller digs it out of the back row. Too long on the pass back to the net. She didn't get under it enough. And the deficit is 3 for the Hawks. Hornets trying to slam the door and win the last 3. That went in. Great placement on the service by Alex Bull. That's not necessarily a mistake by Beech Grove. That's a tough ball. First of all, it's a tough one to return because of its location. It's a tough one to judge because of its location. 8-6 now. Giller sets it out of the back row. They'll pass it over. Set to the net by the Hawks. To the back row, Giller with the protection. To the outside. Partially blocked at the net by the Hawks. They get it over in 3. Giller passes close to the net. Nice back set, and what do we got? Double hit. Charged against Beech Grove. I didn't see that. Granted, she's closer than I am, but that has to be close to double digits if that's been called tonight combined against both teams, and that is rare. I'm not saying it's rare that it happens, it's just rare that it's called that much. Kaiser with a finish, blocked at the net. She recoups and resets. They'll go outside this time. Bree Hurt sends it to the back row. 1 point advantage for the Hornets. That one too long. 9-7 Beech Grove. They get service back. Need to get to 10. You get to 10 at this point, you're still in great shape, especially with the inconsistency that Decatur Central has had the last couple of games. A red card charged on the Decatur Central bench, and a member of their coaching staff has been ejected. And Dee Taylor is talking it over right now with the official, who said all she was doing was cheering for the kids. I didn't see her address anything toward the officials whatsoever, but she's been ejected. Dee Taylor, at least content, maybe not happy or in agreement, but in content with the discussion. And the assistant's been ejected, but she's standing in the doorway and watching. And last time I checked, they have to go to the locker room. Blocked at the net, recovered by Decatur Central. Weak side set, tapped over. Samantha Osmond tried to finish it and couldn't. Beech Grove very, very active. Kaiser taps it over, and what do we got? A lift called against Kayla Kaiser. Little disappointed in the officials for allowing that coach to stand in the doorway and continue to coach when she should be in the locker room. 9-8 your score. Decatur Central going to serve, and they trail by 1. This one's tightened up. Mix up in communication of the finish by Samantha Osmus. Gets them to that magical number of 10. It's 10-8. Maybe our athletic director, Matt English, is going to go over and finish the job. Walking that way. Set close to the net and into the net, Decatur Central. The score. Hawks with a set. Good block, but it fell down on the wrong side of the net. Now it's 10-9. Decatur Central's Garza with a serve. Too long. Miss hit by Cheyenne Sutt. Lindsey Hall comes over, not in agreement at all with the lack of a call there. And the official at least going to go over and talk it over. If it goes as it was called, it's tied at 10. Point to Beech Grove. That's going to result in a requested explanation from Dee Taylor. And they don't enjoy the best of relationship with that particular official as it is. With a yellow card issued on the night and a red card issued as well, resulting in the ejection of an assistant coach. But whatever Lindsey Hall brought to their attention, they were in agreement with. Dee Taylor has to temper how far she takes this argument. She can't afford to get ejected as well. 11-9, good serve. Decatur Central with a nice recovery. Good recovery by the Hornets. They set it to the outside. Giller attempts to finish. Hawks save it. They want to try to set her up again. They do to the middle. What do we got? Hawks in the net. (12-9). One more. The Hornets are in the driver's seat. Good serve. Marski, 13-9. D. Taylor wants to call the timeout. Maybe too much, too little, too late. We'll see. Lindsey Hall and company trying to come from 2-0 down to win 3 straight against Decatur Central. We'll find out if they can do it after this on BGTV. Gritty, gutty, whatever you want to call it. A tremendous performance by Lindsey Hall of the Beech Grove Hornets. They lose the first 2 games 25-21, 25-23 to DC. They're on the verge of coming back from a 2-0 deficit to win the next 3 and hold service at home. 13-9 the score. Blocked at the net. Giller saves it. Hawks regroup at the net. Need to get it back and reset it. They're not able to do that. Giller is set, finds the hole, and finishes 14-9. Match point about to be served by the Beech Grove Hornets, and what a monumental win this would be for Lindsey Hall and company. Marski with the serve, just over the net. Decatur Central regroups at the net. Everybody flies to the ball. You need to get it over here. That's the third. Nice save by Osmus. Set outside and the finish. Hawks not going away quietly. It's 14-10. They have a very strong server in Brina Smith up now, but she has been horribly inconsistent tonight. Her club trails by 4 at 14-10 in the 5th and deciding game. Takes a little bit off this time. They set Giller. Blocked at the net. Point Decatur Central, 14-11. We appreciate you joining us. It's one of the reasons why you got to be here live. A lot of electricity in this gym tonight. Passed up a little short, a lack of communication. Adrenaline is off the charts right now for the Beech Grove Hornets, and they just need to calm down and make plays. 14-12. Brina Smith serves it. Miss hit on the pass up. Abby Stoltz will save it. They'll set middle. Hornets cover it. Stoltz with a set. Giller tips it over. The Hawks are there. Outside. Curry. Set it in the net for Giller. No, they'll go outside instead. Ball moves. Hit to the floor. Hornets win it. (15-12) the final score. What a great night of volleyball here at the Hive. Decatur Central wins game number 1, 25-21, 25-23, game number 2, and then the Hornets come storming back, decidedly winning the third game, 25-12. Game number 3, 25-16, in a game that saw a coach get a yellow card and a coach get an ejection. They win the 5th and deciding game, 15-12. Congratulations to Lindsey Hall and her outstanding volleyball team. They'll be back home on Thursday, September the 19th. They'll host Whiteland. Freshman action gets underway at 5:30. Again tonight, producing this broadcast, Shelby Savage, A.J. Fatoud, Malcolm Larry, Michaela Ward, and Delaney Mitchell. Heading up this outstanding program is Wiley Kraft. Thanks to Jim Pick for giving me the opportunity to sit in for him tonight. I'll be back with you next Thursday night. Again, congratulations to Lindsey Hall and the volleyball team beating Decatur Central in 5. From the Hive, this is Mark James. So long, everybody.